Wolves are not monsters. The image of the wolf as a ravenous, bloodthirsty monster, a relentless man-eater lurking in the shadows of our darkest forests, is a powerful and enduring myth. This caricature, however, is a profound distortion of reality, a monstrous fiction constructed over centuries of folklore, fairy tales, and, more recently, sensationalized media. It's a narrative that paints these intelligent, social animals as villains, as the shadowy antagonists in humanity's story. But this popular depiction could not be further from the truth. The wolf of our collective nightmare, the snarling beast with glowing eyes that stalks lost travelers and preys on innocent children, is a specter born from our own fears, not a reflection of the actual animal that roams the wild. In truth, wolves are not the embodiment of evil or a direct threat to human existence. They are complex creatures, driven by instinct, social bonds, and the fundamental need to survive in an increasingly challenging world. The big bad wolf is a character in a story, a symbolic representation of the dangers we perceive in the untamed wilderness. The real wolf, by contrast, is a shy, elusive, and deeply misunderstood animal that plays a vital, irreplaceable role in the health of our planet's ecosystems. Understanding the distinction between the myth and the reality is the first crucial step toward appreciating the true nature of one of the world's most iconic and maligned predators. The monster is a human creation. The animal is a natural wonder. Movies and myths created false fear. The deep-seated fear of wolves that permeates many cultures is not an innate human response, but a learned one, meticulously crafted and reinforced over generations. This widespread dread has been sown and cultivated through the powerful mediums of storytelling and visual media. From ancient folklore to modern cinema, the wolf has consistently been cast in the role of the villain. Think of the cautionary tales told to children for centuries. Little Red Riding Hood, where the wolf is a cunning, deceptive predator capable of swallowing grandmother's whole, or The Three Little Pigs, where it represents a destructive, relentless force. These stories, while entertaining, embedded a powerful and negative archetype into our collective consciousness from a very young age. They weren't just stories. They were lessons in fear, teaching us to see the wolf not as an animal, but as a symbol of deception and mortal danger. This traditional vilification was then amplified 1,000-fold with the advent of Hollywood. Movies and television shows have an unparalleled ability to shape public perception, and for decades, they have presented the wolf in the most terrifying light imaginable. In countless horror films and thrillers, wolves are depicted as unnaturally aggressive, forming monstrous packs that hunt humans with malevolent intelligence and insatiable bloodlust. They are shown with bared fangs, snarling and leaping at the camera, their howls echoing not as a form of communication but as a terrifying promise of impending doom. These cinematic portrayals often exaggerate their size, strength, and ferocity to a fantastical degree, creating a supernatural monster rather than depicting a real animal. The visual and auditory power of film makes these manufactured fears feel visceral and real, solidifying the wolf's status as a creature to be feared and eradicated. The result of this long and pervasive history of misrepresentation is a deeply ingrained cultural phobia, a false fear that is disconnected from scientific reality and the wolf's actual behavior. It is a fear born not of experience, but of fiction. In reality, wolves avoid humans contrary to the terrifying image projected by myths and movies. The fundamental nature of a wild wolf is not one of aggression toward humans, but one of caution and avoidance. In the real world, far from the silver screen, wolves are inherently shy and elusive creatures that harbor a deep and instinctual wariness of people. For a wolf, a human is not seen as potential prey. Rather, we are perceived as a formidable and unpredictable threat, a superpredator, to be given a wide berth. This behavior is not accidental. It is a survival strategy honed over centuries of interaction. Historically, the relationship has been one-sided, with humans relentlessly hunting, trapping, and persecuting wolves, driving them from their territories into the brink of extinction in many parts of the world. This long and brutal history has taught wolves a critical lesson. Proximity to humans often leads to death. As a result, they have adapted to be ghosts of the forest, masters of staying unseen and unheard. When a wolf encounters a human in the wild, it's overwhelming. First instinct is not to attack, but to retreat. Their incredibly keen senses, their sharp hearing, their powerful sense of smell usually alert them to a human's presence long before the person is even aware of the wolf. This gives them ample opportunity to melt away into the landscape, vanishing silently behind a ridge or into a thicket of trees. The vast majority of people who live, work, or recreate in wolf country will never even catch a glimpse of one. An encounter is a rare event, and an aggressive one is rarer still. A wolf's primary concerns are the safety of its pack, the defense of its territory from other wolves, and the pursuit of its natural prey, such as deer, elk, or moose. Confronting a human offers no evolutionary advantage and carries an immense risk. They have everything to lose and virtually nothing to gain from such an interaction. Therefore, the reality is a stark inversion of the myth. In the vast, silent wilderness, it is the wolf that fears the human, and it is the wolf that makes every effort to keep a safe and respectful distance. Their world and ours rarely, and only cautiously, intersect.